Here we are talking about petrol pump price hike. Olatide Jeremiah, CEO of PetroleumPrice.ng, is here to help us explain what is really happening. Very good day to have you, Mr. Jeremiah, on the show today, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So
A good
let's.
afternoon to you and a good afternoon to Nigerians.
All right. Now, what is happening? I don't want to put any direct question to you, but you are in that industry with your tanker report. What is happening? 950, 920, 930. How did we come about all this price?
Okay, thank you once again for having me. And currently, there is a supply glitch in the petroleum industry. In the last 7 days, the Dangote refinery has suspended loading and sales of PMS to its marketers. And because of that, the private depot took advantage of that situation and they hike their depot prices to 890, 900 across all the depot in Nigeria. And unfortunately, most of those depots are already running on low stock as I speak with you, because in the last 7 days, according to our trackers, no PMS vessel is at berth at those depots. It means no PMS vessel has arrived our waterways or our jetties for discharge in those depots in the last 7 days. So if this situation continues like this, there will be fuel scarcity next week.
But let me quickly butt you here, Mr. Olatide. What could be the reason behind Dangote suspending sales to its marketers? Is there any technical, although we have not seen any communication coming from the above, from your own observation, what could be the reason?
Okay, for me, there are 3 reasons. As we've been tracking this supply glitch at Dangote refinery for the past 2 weeks. So it has been evident that they had low stock. They were not producing at their optimal level. You know that they sacked over 800 staff. That is one of the factors. And you know, in the month of September, they had the lowest inputs when it comes to crude. They had in the last 8 months, their crude intake in September was the lowest. So they had crude issues. You know, they stopped sales 2 weeks ago, citing reasons that the federal government didn't give them enough crude, and because of that, they are stopping sales in naira. So, but they resumed it thereafter. But still, they didn't get enough crude for production. That's the second reason. And the third reason, they've been doing some maintenance in the petrol cracking unit. The petrol cracking unit had some leakages, according to some insiders, had some leakages, and they've been ongoing some maintenance in the last 1 month to 2 months. The maintenance has been ongoing. So those are the 3 major factors that we are tracking that could be the reason for the low stock. Currently, they have extremely low stock at the refinery. They are only scantily loading their gantry, their trucks, their distribution trucks, their whole trucks, going to stations. They are scantily loading their trucks and MRS trucks. You know, MRS has a high power partnership with Dangote refinery.
Exactly.
So they are scantily loading. But other loadings have been stopped since Thursday there about last week. And that is why you see private depot increasing their price to as high as 900 per liter, 890 per liter. And if the Dangote refinery doesn't come up this week, there's going to be queues across Nigeria for next week.
But let's stay on the Dangote aspect of what is really bringing about this high price of PMS across Nigeria. Is there any expectation that they may definitely go over these technical glitches, because it is more or less like the technical glitches, from maintenance to the aspect of low crude intake, and let's not also forget that they also had issue with the gas supply for their turbine and the rest of them. But for you, do you see us coming through this? Do you see Dangote coming through this before the end of this month?
Definitely, but before the end of this month, there will be crisis. The end of this month is a long time. if the supply issue is not resolved this week, if Dangote does not load this week, there will be crisis next week. Obviously, I know the problem about crisis, scarcity in Nigeria. The problem about scarcity in Nigeria is that if this crisis starts, it takes time before it gets out.
Exactly.
Even if when they start loading, it might take another 1 or 2 weeks before it heats off. So if Dangote refinery does not start loading this week, there will be queues next week, because the private depots are already on low stock.
Exactly. But this also begs for Mr. Olatide. This also begs for question. So sorry, Mr. Olatide. This also begs for question around the NNPC own supply chain. Where do they stand? The Port Harcourt, the Warri, where do they get their fuel? Because they were the first to increase their price to 955 now. So where are they getting their own product from at this point in time?
Yes, the NNPCL, they are combining importation and sourcing from Dangote refinery. Yes, the NNPCL, where they get their product from is the Dangote refinery and importation. But for the Dangote refinery, it's a no for now, because there is no load in Dangote refinery. So based on their last vessel that was imported, based on the landing cost, that was why we saw the increase in pump price across all NNPCL stations. In Lagos, 922, in Abuja, 955. It's because there's a supply glitch. They cannot access petroleum product from Dangote. And looking at the factors of bringing product into Nigeria, the crude, the naira, and all of that, made that decision to increase their price to 922. So the bottom line is that currently we have gas supply problem, we have petrol supply problem. And if the petrol supply problem is not properly dealt with this week, there will be crisis next week.
But Mr. Olatide, you brought in the gas aspect of this discussion, which I am also quite very interested to quickly ask you some questions. We have seen that crude oil price is dropping, and this is the major reason why sometimes the price of gas normally goes up, but currently the price of crude oil is dropping. How come in Nigeria, in the last 2 weeks, the price of gas just rise? What's your take on that, sir?
For me, the reason why we are having all of this is because importers, they've not been importing. Okay, the importers of gas, they've not been importing. Importers of gas, they've not been importing as they used to import because of the price differences with Dangote refinery. In the past, if they import LPG or cooking gas into Nigeria, they find it very difficult to compete with Dangote, because Dangote will sell 100 naira per kg lesser than theirs. So some of them, they've been discouraged by importing. They didn't import. If you look at it, what we are tracking at the moment, in Lagos, only a singular depot is loading, Navgas depot, in the whole of Lagos. Out of the 7 LPG depot in Lagos, only one has gas, and Dangote refinery. Dangote refinery is selling for 740. That is the marketer's price. As at yesterday, while Navgas is selling for 900. Look at the difference. That's good. So it's discouraging importers to import because they cannot compete with Dangote. competing with Dangote is almost impossible.
But
Look at the PMS now.
exactly. But before you
Look at
answer,
the PMS now.
Mr. Latide, shortly before you take on the PMS issue, but we have NLFG that normally supply 35% to the domestic consumption. How come these importers or this depot cannot go to NNLG and buy the 30% they normally give us for local consumption?
Yes, that is a good one. Even NAFDA, the current load, the current discharge they had 2 days ago into their terminal was gotten from NLG. So there should be more collaboration between the terminals, the private depots, and NLG to make sure that they get access to the product. So, well, hopefully, I am hoping that there will be more collaboration, because all of these back and forth between them, the competition is playing out. On the PMS side, private depots, they are not importing. In the last, looking at the tanker report I checked this morning, no vessel is at berth. No vessel, no PMS vessel around. So that is a recipe for crisis. Because the essence of importation is that where the local refinery are having their internal glitches, importation will cover up for them. That is why there should be a balance between local refining and importation. But it should be like 80 to 20%. But now, currently, importers did not import petrol in the last 5 days. And with that, there might be crisis. And Dangote is down. He is having some internal issues. We don't have vessels coming to Nigeria. If something urgent is not taken in the supply of petrol, there will be crisis next week. And I see prices at the pump exceeding 1,000 by next week.
But we're talking about taking exigency approach or action at this point in time. Is it not the right time for us to now see the functionality of our 4 national refinery? If the Port Harcourt one is revived, as said by NNPC, is it not the time for us to experiment and see what we can do, including the Warrior? Because right now, many Nigerians are not happy because Dangote is having glitches. We should not put the blame on his own glitches that we didn't import. But our 4 national refinery are not working. Is it not the time for NNPC to stand and let us know the condition of those 4 refineries? Because they're supposed to come to our rescue. Just like I put it to you, sorry, Mr. Olatide, just like I put it to you on the NNLG. NNLG promised us 35% local consumption of gas, which they will be giving to Nigerians. But at this point in time that we need it, they are not doing it as expected. So is it not the time for all this national public enterprise in the oil and gas sector to stand up for the Nigerian people at this point in time?
Yes, you are right. Nigeria is a highly populated country with over 200 million population. A singular refinery is not enough to meet our needs. The other government refineries should work. There will be a level of competition and a balance at the refinery level. I have severally in different fora advocated that our refinery should be privatized. So it's going to become efficient. If we continue with our old ways of rehabilitating our refinery, putting money and all of that, it will still not work. They should be privatized now. I think there should be a movement for it. Our refinery should be privatized. And as soon as they are privatized, they will be up. Now Dangote is down. We will have the whole country rely on our refineries. We have 4 refineries with the tune of 455 barrels per day. That is equivalent to 70 million liters. And what do we consume? We just consume 50 million liters as a country. And those refineries, if they are in their optimal level of 455,000 barrels per day, they will give us 70 to 80 million liters per day. Who have these glitches? So relying solely on a singular refinery. Dangote is very good. We welcome him. It's okay. But we are populated. We need alternatives.
Exactly.
Just the same way we still say, oh, we should not play down on importation. We should have some level of importation.
Exactly.
But our other refineries should work.
Exactly. Mr.
They should
Olatide,
work.
I have to thank you for coming on the show. Your submission are very, very instructive. Local refineries must be supported, even though we can't depend on them solely. Alongside importation, we make a balance for our oil and gas sector. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's a developing issue, although you have said if it is not tackled this week, by this and weekend, we could have crisis of higher petroleum price in Nigeria. But that is not our prayer. No Nigerian is wishing to have a petrol liter at 1,000 plus, but we pray that Dangote will come alive and then NPC Petroleum will also come alive. But you personally, we appreciate you for coming on the show today, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
All right,
Thank
sir.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.